Okay, I think you guys can see me. That's cool. Welcome to this SAP Community Call, and sorry for the slight delay. We're really happy and excited to have this YouTube live streaming of our SAP Community Call series. With me is Andreas Seyfried. I think he can count as one of our SAP top experts in regards to SAP Master Data Governance. And he's here with us to talk a little bit more about the Cloud Edition. So before we get started, just a short reminder, you see the chat, feel free to use it, chat with us, tell us the questions that you have. We will definitely dedicate some time at the end of the call, as always, for you and for the Q&A. But with that, I think, Andreas, we can get started. Oh, by the way, if you want to know, my name is Melina Chow. I forgot that. I'm from the community team, one of the moderators of these calls, and we do also have a blog post, just real quick, where we ask you to submit topics. If you have any requests about, hey, I want to have a community call, let's have an expert joining us and talk about a specific topic. I'll share the link in a moment. But with that, I think I have said everything that's needed for this call, and happy to hand over to you, Andreas.
Thank you, Menina. So yes, as Menina already said, I'm Andreas Seyfried. I work as a product manager for SAP Master Data Governance, and I'm happy to give you here, as part of this call, some hands-on experience on a guided tour on a SAP Master Data Governance Cloud Edition. I was asked to remind you that this content and all content that's referred to is shared under the appropriate or under these disclaimers that you see in that slide. And yeah, what is it about? So if you are an active member of the SAP community and maybe follow us already on the SAP Master Data Governance community, so the link that you see on the right-hand side, you might have noticed Markus Ganser's blog here about getting hands-on experience on the guided tour about Master Data Governance Cloud Edition. And you find down here in the slide, and I think the colleagues will also post it in the chat in YouTube, how you can access that blog. Basically, this session is about this blog. So I will show you what you can do, at least some things that you can do with SAP Master Data Governance Cloud Edition, and yeah, and how to get there. And as such, we have this agenda. So just 1 or 2 slides about setting the stage about Master Data Governance. Then we have 5 exercises on how to access it. Let's show you how to access it, how you do central governance, how you do consolidation, how you do mass change, and how you can do data quality management with MDG. And for every exercise, I will briefly show you the functionality and guide you around. So getting started, you might know that SAP Master Data Governance is a product that's available already for years now. So we started as an add-on on SAP ERP. Meanwhile, MDG is bundled together, delivered together with SAP S/4HANA. It requires, though, a separate license, of course, but it's there in every S/4HANA system. And here MDG can be used as an enterprise-wide hub to centrally manage core and application attributes of master data objects. So here we support various domains, for example, customer, supplier, product. You see all of the rest here on the slide. You can also use MDG and S/4HANA for custom defined object. We have slightly different in terms of which functionality is provided. Also versions for S/4HANA Cloud, so meaning MDG is available in S/4HANA on-premise and also in S/4HANA Cloud, with a fraction of the functionality of the on-premise still, but also with the roadmap here. And this part or that deployment option where you will use MDG on S/4HANA is open for federation, meaning together with the SAP Master Data Governance Cloud Edition, we introduce a new concept or extend the concepts for master data management, where you can bring several instances of master data governance into a federation network, so to say, where you have one central instance that takes care of core attributes for business partners, as to pick an example, and then the governance processes are integrated with the other MDG instances in your system landscape. So this is an offering that is extremely important for larger customers of us, where they have very different, very different businesses maybe, or are very diverse in terms of the regions that they offer, where they can have that federated network of MDG instances. And as part of that, but also standalone, as you will see in a minute, we also now offer MDG as a cloud edition. MDG Cloud Edition offers the governance for core attributes only, and at the moment only for the business partner domain, meaning the core attributes for customer and supplier master data. And it's based on the SAP One Domain model that you might have heard of as well. And also, as indicated by Cloud Edition, it is provided as a SaaS application that you subscribe to in the public cloud. And here, MDG Cloud plays a special role because it's the cornerstone of this federation network. It enables that federation and orchestration of MDM capabilities together with the other MDG instances, in particular on S/4HANA. So MDG now, or the Cloud Edition, is an addition to our offering. Yeah. So in parallel to the versions on S/4HANA, in particular, and customers can use an MDG Cloud Edition now really standalone as a quick start. MDM initiatives with low entry barriers. Yeah, you don't have to install anything. It's a subscription model, and you don't have to take care about running the system because SAP does so for you. But you can also use it in combination as to an existing MDG deployment and S/4HANA, as explained before. There are a couple of presentations, and there are also recordings available on our community homepage on that subject. So because in this call today, we want to focus more on the Cloud Edition, and in particular on the trial version of that, because we also have a free and time-limited subscription available for you to explore MDG Cloud on the BTP. So it's part of the SAP BTP trial, and it's streamlined to quickly explore MDG Cloud. Yeah? You will see in a minute. It, of course, as a SaaS application typically is, it runs in a shared environment. So multiple trial tenants share an instance of MDG Cloud. And here in the trial versions, also these tenants are isolated, similar to a standard subscription model. Data is, of course, separate. You have your own set of business partners and so on. But there are some exceptions that apply for the trial versions. So, for example, you cannot change the process configuration in trial, what you can do in a standard, of course, because that's a fundamental capability, isn't it? And we also run on a common set of example validation rules that you can have a look at, but you cannot modify them. So basically, bottom line, not all features of the standard plan are available. And there's a link on that slide that brings you to comparison list, where you can see what can you explore in the trial version, and what can you only explore and play with if you get a real standard subscription. So now this already leads me to the first exercise, and this is about getting a trial account and subscribing to MDG Cloud. So if you already have a trial subscription, of course, you can do so. And also you will see if you already have a trial subscription of the business technology platform of SAP's BTP. This is, of course, integrated into that. We have a getting started guide that is also linked in that blog of Marcus that I initially mentioned. And that getting started guide shows all the things that you need to do, very verbosely explained step by step. But I will also show you this right now. So if you choose that link, you come to a document. Here, getting started. So showing you where to get documentation, what the scope is, that it's limited to 30 days. Yeah? For legal reasons, we had to limit that trial offering for 30 days. Of course, once these 30 days are over, you can cancel your subscription, delete it. You will lose all the data that you have created, of course, but you can then subscribe again, create a new subscription, and start a new 30-day period. What you also should do is, or the link is here, there's a welcome page on sap.com where you register for the free trial and are also brought to the BTP cockpit. So I can also directly from go to the product homepage of MDG on sap.com. That's exactly the place where it's brought to. And here you see a button, try the cloud edition. You select that. And if you don't have already a user account on sap.com, you are brought through a process to register yourself. Here I'm already, no, I'm not logged on, but now I'm logged on with an account that I prepared, and I can click start the trial. If you don't, if you have not yet registered, you will be brought through that process. So actually, I wanted to show it here on this side, and this is why I was not logged in. So here, start the trial. And you see, you will be getting such a user ID to identify yourself on the sap.com platform. When you choose that link, you are brought to the SAP Business Technology platform. And in case you don't have a trial account there, you will also be running through a wizard that in which course you will be creating your BTP trial account. Here I already have prepared this, and then you end up in a screen similar to this. So meaning you have the BTP cockpit, you have a sub account that is already automatically prepared for you. And when you choose that sub account, you see the left-hand side changes. You have the service marketplace available to you, showing you all the services and applications that you can subscribe to from your trial sub account. And if you search for master data, you will also find SAP Master Data Governance, Cloud Edition, the trial version. So here, with the shared plan, shared subscription plan, that allows you to explore some of the main capabilities of MDG Cloud. And when you press the Create button, the system asks you to confirm these settings and the plan, and a subscription for your sub-account will be created. So now there's one caveat, one pitfall you should avoid. So now you see the subscription is being created in process. Before then that link or that text here will turn into a link once the subscription is complete. But before clicking there, you should go to the security section here. So maybe it's collapsed, yeah. You can of course then open it. You should find here your user, and if you select it, you should see that you only have one, or maybe it depends on what you have already done with your trial subscription. Typically, you have only one role collection added to your user. And with the subscription to MDG Cloud, you have 4 further role collections available that you should assign to your user account. The most important one is MDG trial, because otherwise you will not be able to continue with the subscription process. And then for working with the various functionalities, you should have things like this. It's safe just to tick all of them. Doesn't make any difference. So now, meanwhile, when I return to the instances and subscriptions page, I should see that the subscription meanwhile was created. Yes, that's what we see right here. So I just created that subscription. And there's a link, so either that link or the button available that brings me to the application. So here again, you are once more reminded that there's a 30 days trial period, and some of the small print that we have to terminate after that that period and so on. You need to confirm that by pressing that get user. And from now on, after you've done so, you can always access your personal MDG Cloud trial account with this link here shown in the pop-up. And clicking there should bring me to the Fiori Launchpad, showing me all the applications that are available to me as part of the trial subscription. That was the content of the first exercise. I think I mentioned all that, 30 days. You can restart it in the trial period. So, okay, now let's see more into the application. What can I do now with that application? Most prominently, central governance. What does that mean? You can run a workflow-driven process for creating and changing business partners. It offers different capabilities, for example, a duplicate check, and yeah, to maintain the core attributes of our business partner master data. Again, there is a detailed step-by-step description, also linked from Marco's blog, that brings you through the steps, through the steps creating a business partner, then approving the creation, and here in the document is also described how you would change a business partner. Yeah. So again, that's a PDF that you can have a look at and also download the document. Now, what is this exercise about? Let me briefly explain or summarize the applications that are available on the Launchpad. So there is a group of applications that are for central governance for business partners, meaning here that manage business partners that allow me to have a look at which business partners are already there and also start the creation and change process for a business partner. Then you will see that these, while doing so, processes are created that carry on that change or create information. There's a dedicated app to have a look at the processes that are still running or are already completed. There's an app to track the changes, meaning what changes were done to a particular business partner and because of what reason, because of which process. There's an application that brings you to the My Inbox application, where you will see the workflow tasks arriving. We will use that in a minute. Then we have a group for data quality management. Here, as said in the trial version, the functionality is limited to display validation rules for business partners. We will use that in the last exercise. And also you see here a tile that allows you to show the evaluation results when applying these rules to your business partners. Then there are tiles available for consolidation. That's also exercise on that part. So starting or working with consolidation processes that allow you to bring in data from other sources or import data, manage the data that is already imported, and again, track changes that come from such a consolidation process. There are two further applications that allow you to administer the workflow, meaning troubleshoot the workflows in case of errors, or have a look at the workflow definitions which there are. So in this trial setup, of course, this is also fixed, and of course you can extend all these workflow definitions and processes, change the process configuration in the standard plan, but not in the trial. Now let's get started with that central governance exercise. If I go and start that application, you will see that as part of the trial subscription, we provide you with a couple of example business partners to play around with. We'll use them later on. And you see that you can use various filter criteria, search for it. I think the regular stuff that you expect and might also know from MDG and S/4HANA. And you can create persons, organizations, and groups from here. So let's start with creating an organization. So for instance, I create a prospect with the name AD, GMB, GmbH. Berlin, Germany. I'll give basic information, and then I'm brought here to that screen where I can provide many more pieces of information for the business partner. So we see here the different sections at the top. We have a section on the request information. So I create here a new request, but I can also add the requests for multiple business partners into one single request. I can do so. I can provide a description or just leave it empty. It will be defaulted automatically. And I can also choose from different templates that have other configurations and maybe other workflows attached to it. But as said in trial, this is fixed anyhow. Now I would give further information about the business partner, AD, GmbH, foundation date, and so on. I can give more information about the address, the standard address, further communication information. Those who are not, I mean, we basically support very much the address that you know of in S4. So meaning with a multitude of information facets that are there for an address. Yeah. So in which language to communicate, multiple telephone numbers, fax numbers, emails, websites, where to use it, address, international address versions, and so on. We have also prepared already here in the trial that you can do address validation against a postal address directory. We plan to release that also for trial, so that you can play around with that in our next update that is scheduled for February, by the way. We have the possibility to assign roles to the business partner, bank accounts, For example, I don't know. Add bank account at the ING bank. That. Propose the IBAN. And so on and so on. Identification numbers, tax numbers, industry assignment. Yeah. So you can run a duplicate check to make sure that you don't by accident create a duplicate in the system. So, and here you see, since I have chosen the company information appropriately, it finds a potential duplicate that exists already in the system. You can examine that. You can stop creating the new record and instead of that start changing the existing one. But here in that case, I want to continue with the new record. Yeah, I would then maybe just check the information that I provided, whether it's consistent. And as said, we also offer validation rules in MDG Cloud that you might know already from the S/4HANA versions of MDG. And this is a simple example that we implemented as a rule that does a comparison that search term 1 and search term 2 and makes sure that these are not equal, just to avoid storing redundant information. Yeah? This is quite neat for demonstration purposes, and it's also easy to resolve. Yeah, and once I fixed all the errors, I can save and submit that request. Meaning, until now, all the data that I entered were only available as a draft. That I could leave the application. I could even close the browser window and return to that place. The draft information will still be kept, and I can continue from where I left. Or if I'm on the road and maybe the connection broke down, I can continue with that creation progress because the draft is stored. But since I now saved it and also submitted the request, the system created that request for me. See it here. I can have a look at it. And in the trial version, that process is quite simply defined. You have that edit step that I just used for authoring the business partner that I am requesting. It is now stopped for review, meaning there's a workflow instance created and there are tasks created as part of that, and somebody needs to approve the creation request. Once this is done, the system will again validate the data and only then activate the new business partner. So now for trial, I am two personas. I'm the one requesting the business partner, but I'm also the one approving the business partner. And because I assigned to my user account also the other role collections in the previous exercise, you might remember, where I ticked on the other role collections. The workflow definition is based on the assignment of these role collections. And now you already see in my inbox, I have one item, one task. When I click there, I find a task for me that stems exactly from the request that I just submitted. So request 2557. It's a single request created by myself. And on the right-hand side, the UI should open, allowing me, now being a reviewer or approver, I would rather say I'm a reviewer, isn't it? Although most of the cases, probably I should approve it, but not always approve the request. The UI should come up, allowing me to review the data, again, run duplicate check, or run a check again. Yeah? By the way, that workflow behind it is the SAP BTP workflow service or workflow management that is extensible in the standard subscription by various means. And also here in that app, for example, it allows me to create substitutes for me if I want to leave, or planned or unplanned. I can maintain substitutes so that another user takes on with my responsibilities. So now I would review that business partner, and in the end, either make my decision, reject or approve it. And if my decision is to approve the request, the task disappears here from my work list, and it disappears here from the inbox tile. And when I return to the Manage Business Partner app, we should see AB GmbH. So it's there, but you see it's still in a request. So there seems, and we already seen on the UI, there seems to be some delay on the trial system today. I see meanwhile it completed. So that was my request that I submitted, and meanwhile the system also completed that request. And if I can go back, we should now see that AB is completely created, no longer assigned to request, and it should contain all the data that I meant. So in the step-by-step exercise, it also shows you how to change a business partner, but I think for the scope of this session, I will just skip that. Instead of that, show you how consolidation works in the exercise 3. So here we prepared an Excel spreadsheet for you that you can import. So in the exercise is basically then consists of 2 steps. You upload or import that spreadsheet, and then you run a consolidation process. So while clicking there, you should be brought to a place where you can download the Excel spreadsheet right here. So here on that download button. And then the exercise description. Yeah, download it. Okay. When you follow the exercise description, you see that now you're about to use these apps, Consolidation for business partners, namely the Manage Imports. So this app allows you to import data, business partner data, from CSV files, but also from Excel spreadsheet, as said, and not only like flat structures, like just the name with one single address or something like that, but also in a structured way. So allow you to import multiple addresses of business partners, multiple identification numbers, and so on. I now choose that Excel spreadsheet. The system will do some basic checks, whether the file format can be understood and read. It's okay. And then when I actually create that import, the system will interpret the content of the file, and you see here that it successfully imported 7 items, 7 business partners. And directly here from that application, that is then the second step of the exercise, I can create a consolidation process. Yeah. So the community call consolidation process. And again, this is an example that we provide with the trial version that has 5 steps: an initial check of the data that is about to be consolidated, then a matching step that detects duplicates in the data that are imported, but is also, of course, used to find already existing business partners in the system. And then the outcome of this matching step are match groups, meaning business partners that belong together because they are similar. And the best record calculation will then combine the individual records in each match group together to one best record. And these best records, together with obvious updates or new creates, will be then validated and in the end then activated in the system. It all starts with the initial check. And if I start the process, the system does an initial validation of the data that I uploaded in that spreadsheet. And for demo purposes, we should see that this data also has some errors. You see the country region key USA is not entered. That's not, it's not a known country, USA. If I click on that, the system will directly bring me to the record with that data error. See here, Sunrise Solar. Again here, what are the issues? Country region USA not defined. So if I now go to the addresses, I see that well, yeah, I see that the filter does not work at the moment, which confuses me a little bit because I expected to have here only the addresses from that record. But anyhow, I could use the change possibilities from within the process, but also can go directly to the single UI that you have seen before and have a look at the data from here. You see, it's part of my process community call. And there was some problem with the address. You see here, country region USA. You can also do an edit from here. To fix that issue because the country code is not USA, but it's US. I can save that. And if I go back to my consolidation process, I can continue since I fixed now that data issue. Press continue. The system detects that I fixed some or changed data and suggests me to rerun a validation or add a validation step on the fly. So the system will again do that initial check, but now based on the data that I changed. And you see now we're 100% okay. I can continue, excuse me. I can continue to the next step, which is a matching step. Yeah, in the standard edition, it's also possible, of course, to adjust how the matching is performed, the rules which are applied to data. Here in the trial version, it is fixed, and we'll see that the system detected in the matching that there are two potential duplicates there. Potential because it leaves the match group in a status open. So if they are similar enough, the system would also automatically approve the match group. In that case, I need to manually review the match groups or that match group, that single one. If I navigate to this place, it shows me, okay, XYZ Corporation, there are two duplicates I can compare them. Yeah, I need to hurry up a little bit. That's why I don't show it all the details to you. I can compare them, navigate to the single UI to have a closer look at the data, and then decide whether I want to approve or reject that group. Now for the demo, I want to approve that group, meaning I confirm that these two records are actually the same company, and the system will then, in the next step of the consolidation process, which is the best record calculation, combine both records together to one single best record. You see now the state is changed to approved, and when I continue, the system will combine these two records together. I could again review the details and so on. And if I've done so, I can continue to the validation, which will automatically continue in case there are no errors to the activation step. I invite you to have a closer look to this. Once you do all those exercises on your own, you can examine then data configuration and all the functionality that is available on these UIs. But here, to cut it short, once that consolidation process is completed and data is activated, we will see that I now have a couple of more business partners in the system. Right. So let me quickly go through the other exercises because of the lack of time. I would say I can not run through them end to end completely. So mass change provides you with the ability to do very efficiently changes to multiple business partners at a time. There's also an exercise available that basically is like that. You go to that. To go to that app that I also launched before that shows you the processes. You can, from here or also from the other app, you can create mass change requests. Change ABC, for instance. I want to select all the business partners that have ABC as part of their name field. I can check how many are there. So since I prepared the data on my own, I'm confident that 4 are found, and I can now run through that process by opening a tabular UI that allows me to manipulate multiple fields efficiently. Yeah, for example, I can change the search term like that for all items with replace field value and entering field value, or I could switch the UI into such a mode where I can type in different values, ABC2, ABC3. Save. You also see that all the changes are nicely highlighted in every UI. So all in the previous exercise where I correct the data, you might have noticed that there was a change indicator. Also here, I have a change indicator, and when I click on it, the system also shows me the comparison of the new and the old value. Also, if I go to a single record in a single UI, there's also a UI section available that shows me all the differences. This is not only useful if you are have a very short time memory, like me maybe, but this is of course meant for the one who needs to review all these requests, because to quickly and efficiently make up the decision, he or she wants to see what is actually changed and then build that decision on this information only, not having the necessity to run through all the different sections of the UI. So, and then once I'm done, I submit again that request, and it's now the same pattern as before. We have linked in that example set up a workflow to that, and me being also the reviewer of that request should now have another task in my inbox right here, where I can review the data. It's a similar pattern, but now showing me a different UI that allows me to review multiple business partners, and I'm not the only one. Then in the end, I would either approve or reject it. I do a little bit of fast forward now so that we have maybe the on time for the one or the other question in the end. So that was mass change. We also have data quality management. I will quickly run through it. So in that exercise, we also split it into 3 steps, allowing you to examine the validation rules that are provided as examples, where you analyze evaluation results and can correct data. So you might have noticed, meanwhile, that we now have a 7 here, meaning the system, meanwhile, already evaluated the data of my trial tenant against these validation rules. Yeah? And using that app, you can see what the validation rules are. For example, the one that you noticed in the second exercise that checks whether search terms are equal, like that. And you see that here this rule is actually used when the system evaluates the quality of existing data. It's also used when importing data or consolidating data, and it's used in central governance. We've seen this. There are other rules as well, for example, that region required, that checks that a region is given for addresses in Germany or in the United States. This one is only enabled for data quality evaluation for whatever reason. In some cases, that makes perfect sense. Here, for us, it makes sense because otherwise we wouldn't be able to demo it, because I can now enter data that doesn't have a region field, run data quality evaluation. And you see here that the system only like 10 minutes, 15 minutes ago run data quality evaluation against existing data. And here you also see shimmering through the other trial tenants, because my trial tenant only has like, I don't know, 11 or so business partners created. But it shows me here the app of all the others here as well. I can use that score figure to navigate to that other app that you also seen on the Fiori Launchpad already, the evaluation results. And it shows me here what are the results when checking against the rule region required. It shows me that there are 4 results available. Doesn't mean that there are 4 errors, because you see 3 of the 4, the result is not okay, and for 1 it is okay. That analytical list page, that's the pattern of that app, has a multitude of functionality behind that. So a graphical filter bar, but also compact filter bar. You can do breakdowns of the data displayed in the chart. So, for example, display the results by country, comparing. Let me collapse that. Screen is so small. Show a result by country. You can have different chart types and so on and so on. You can also use the chart for filtering the data that's down here. And most importantly, it does not only allow you to have a look at all the problems and all the mess, but allows you also to clean up. I can select, for example, the business partners that are not okay. Select all them, and then create a mass process to fix all the data issues. But I will stop the demo right here, return to the slides now. That was basically data quality management capabilities. And yeah, as you've seen, this was the guided tour through Master Data Governance Cloud Edition. So we now have MDG also available in the cloud, allowing you that you don't get angry about any data issues. And we have also published a nice game, online game, that allows you to play around with that. And I invite you to use that link to to see what to don't get angry about data. And having said that, I want to wrap it up, say thank you, remind you again about the Master Data Governance community space here. And I think now we have maybe the one or the other minutes for questions, Minina, isn't it?
Yes, Andreas, we do. Thank you so much for your presentation and going into the different exercises. What I would like to do now is definitely ask the audience if you have any thoughts, comments around what was shared. I posted the blog post, which has everything summarized in the chat. And yeah, leave a comment. If you like this call, leave a thumbs up. We would really appreciate your feedback just to know how should we proceed further with this. And yeah, let's move on with Q&A. I see the chat was already going, and we also had some questions answered already, asked and answered. So also at this point, thanks to you, Marcus, who joined the call as well. Marcus, who has published the blog post and joined as one of the experts as well to provide some answers here. Okay, so actually there's a question that hasn't been answered yet. So Andreas, there's one from Arumugam with the cloud edition. What is the limitation on the number of records that can be modified with mass change?
Oh well, we don't have any hard limit with the number of records that can be processed. There's no hard limit. We apply several techniques to keep the system performant. Of course, the mass change is carried out in the background, as you have seen. So yeah, so the UI doesn't keep busy while the system applies all the changes to data, because the changes also need to be applied consistently. Yeah, you know, all that validation will occur and so on. And then all the data is also cut into multiple packets that are then processed in parallel, given all the system resources that are available. So it can provide lots of data or process lots of data in parallel.
Thank you, Andreas. Another follow-up question by Niels. Is there already an idea when material model will be included into SAP Master Data Governance Cloud Edition?
Support of material or product is on our roadmap. We don't have a dedicated or an explicit date available by when it will be possible for us to provide that. I invite you to follow our community and have a look at the roadmap that we publish regularly. So please stay tuned.
Perfect. To this regard, I have posted the links to the community under topics. You will find it. Finding the SAP Master Data Governance community topic page, but also I posted the FAQ page. So there's lots of questions already out there, also by you, community. So if there's any additional questions that we can't cover in this call, then please join the community, post your questions. The experts will help you around. Okay, another question. Do we still have BRF plus validation and body validation in scope?
So this question comes from somebody who knows our on-premise functionality for sure. What we have is these validation rules. Technically, they make use of BRF plus. So when you have a subscription to the standard plan of MDG Cloud, you will see that the implementation of the rules is actually done using BF+. We don't use these techniques anymore, like bodies, implementation of our code, and so on. Yeah, so validation rules are based on BF+.
Okay, cool. Then there is a question. Well, it says also the same question for finance data.
For finance data, well, we have not yet have very concrete plans about that. So I think there's also in the FAQ a question regards to the support of financial master data domain.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Okay. Easy. Then Yogesh asks, so first of all, excellent presentation. Not sure if you can see the chat, so that's why I'm reading it out to you, Andreas, so you see it. And your time is really appreciated. Is MDG Cloud Edition going to replace the central governance module in the on-premise version of MDG?
Well, no. What we will see, of course, is that the Cloud Edition might also bring some of its features into the on-premise version of MDG, but for sure will not replace our S/4HANA based MDG offering with the Cloud Edition. And also, want to refer to the first slide that I've shown. I think it was the first slide. Where I wanted to point out that actually MDG on-premise and S4, MDG S/4HANA Cloud and MDG Cloud go together. And there is an excellent article by Markus Kupper, for example, and also by Markus Ganser and colleagues available in the community on that subject.
Really cool. A lot of content out there, a lot of experts around SAP MDG that provide you with all you need to know. Okay. Next question. Well, it's a follow-up to the same one. Will the new Fiori UI that you demonstrated for central governance processes replace the FPM-based UI applications in the on-premise version?
So definitely not replace them. Yeah, as said, we will probably see that some of the features of MDG Cloud Edition also become available in the other versions of MDG and S4.
Okay, really cool. I think for now, I don't see any further questions coming, but we have covered a lot of details. I think we also went a little bit over time, but that's because we started a little bit late, so we're good. But excellent session. Also, kind of like what's been said in the chat. Everyone really is appreciating your time, Andreas, for having this community call with us.
Thanks for hosting me, Nina.
Thank you. Okay, then thank you, everyone. Thanks, participants, for the lively chat, for listening, and hopefully this was helpful for you. Give us a thumbs up, and yeah, join us in the community and connect with us. We're looking forward to the next calls with you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for joining. Bye.